In 1999, The Matrix was a movie that blew everyone's mind. To this very day, the original film remains as entertaining as it was, and has become one of the most impressive action blockbusters in cinema history, even if the next two films didn't quite live up to the mark that had been set. And there are many reasons why the first Matrix film has lasted the test of time and impacted so much, especially of that in action cinema and the entertainment landscape. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the reasons why the original Matrix was groundbreaking for science fiction cinema and cinema in general as a build-up to the release of The Matrix Resurrections, which is due out in the next few weeks. Before I get into it though, if you want to see much more videos on The Matrix 4 once it hits theatres, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive into how The Matrix changed cinema. The Matrix is a film that for over 20 years has been constantly referenced and talked about through its many innovations. There was groundbreaking filmmaking, with technology and techniques aided by inducting mainstream movie-going audiences into concepts they hadn't seen tackled previously in a large-scale R-rated action film. The traditional action film was renowned as being quite conventional, evolving into using quick-cut sequences of fun, escapist entertainment, and that alone for the most part. And in most cases, there's nothing wrong with this if the story is fitting for that approach and they pull it off well. But while The Matrix did give us entertaining fast action, it also pushed forward a new generation of filmmaking through the way it was filmed, one which set out to help artists use developing technology to the best of their abilities, succeeding in bringing their creative visions and pleasing the expectations of a widening audience. The action was a part of The Matrix, and with this came higher concepts which we don't really associate with this kind of action film. Trying to think about these scenes and the way things work within them, rather than just reliving the same moment over and over again, was quite refreshing. The Matrix had essentially changed our expectations and assumptions of what an action movie can be. The Wachowskis merged hectic action set pieces with mind-bending philosophies, making the moments of frantic action have motivation and purpose. And the ideas on display are just as interesting as seeing explosions, bullet dodging, and well-choreographed punches and kicks. The film reveals that the humans are more machine-like than they think, and that the machines have human qualities as well. There's also the choice between fate and free will, perfectly symbolised with the red and blue pill sequence. And it primarily explores the inner workings between the body, brain and mind, and how that connection can all change when the world turns out to be an illusion. Pulling all of these big ideas off was incredibly difficult, but by using the genre and particularly the action movie, we get a film that raises the bar when it comes to all of these aspects. But how did they make this work, changing the action movie and inspiring filmmakers today to not be afraid to dream a little bigger? Well, it all starts by challenging characters to their cause. By introducing this story with the ideas that the world around us and everything we know is a lie, you have created an instant connection to every audience member watching the film. We want to watch a film like this to escape, but The Matrix grabs us, reaching through the screen, presenting us with the question of what is real, in a very meta way. In this world, there are no barriers when it comes to what is possible, and that creates an instant intrigue. We see ourselves in Neo, wanting to see how far this rabbit hole goes and what it all means. Traditional action movie boundaries we have been accustomed to see aren't here to aid viewing pleasure. They are purely moments and questions on display that make us look inward. Very few movies in this genre and outside do this so well, but those such as Blade Runner, Inception, and the first Matrix pull it off and accomplish many things at the same time. They are existential deep dives, pieces of art that transcend, while at the same time they have both feet planted in the genre they situate in. It's extremely hard to do, and The Matrix is one of those rare films to accomplish this feat. Films like this don't make you align with it in the perspective of what you know, it challenges you to accept a new reality. At the time, the Wachowskis built influences from martial arts movies, anime, and also graphic novels. By looking at all of these different genres and forms of entertainment, it presented them with a very diverse set of filmmaking techniques, structures of world building, and characterizations that wasn't seen in much Western films at the time. Like Blade Runner, it built a dystopian setting, focusing on rising characters who are fighting to make a change in an unfair system. Like I said before, it helped create a connection and made the audience intrigued by the finer details and ideals. This growing of The Matrix and accepting a new reality led to the project becoming a global franchise, one that would modernize the idea of a film franchise by expanding with platforms and merchandising, including graphic novels, books, and animated projects. It would help broaden the world of The Matrix, inspiring a new modern trend of major franchises, expanding beyond the theatrical. It was the type of film that only comes around every now and again by making us obsess over it. It evolved the action movie into something we never thought it could be. But as I suggested before, while The Matrix gave us mind-bending ideas and knockout action that we hadn't seen done, its biggest impact was through the legacy of its innovations with technology in the filming process, post-production, and the releasing of the movie. When CGI was done well and mixed with practical effects, it can really elevate the size of what we see on screen and go beyond what is possible in filmmaking. You know that I like directors like Christopher Nolan, who really strive to film as much as possible in camera, and whenever they do use visual effects, they make sure it's used in a way which doesn't look unrealistic, like they've shot on a green screen, or takes you out of the movie completely. Many blockbusters started using CGI after the 1990s, and while for the time it was groundbreaking to see this technology in action, like with Star Wars The Phantom Menace, over time it hasn't lasted and you can see through the shoddy effects. There are films like this today that are producing a similar outcome, and it would be much more effective to merge digital effects with practical efforts. Films like Tenet and Dune show how you can make something look incredible and not need the unlimited use of excess CGI to do so. But when it's done right, and you need a lot of visual effects to create the world of The Matrix for instance, it can last the test of time and still blow people away with what they were able to accomplish in 1999. The Matrix is one of those films that perfectly balances using visual effects with practical stunts. The bullet time scene is the much used example here, because even though there's lots of visuals on display, the trickery here is that it puts your focus on the character. They are the tool that carries you through the insane visuals, and the film's green filter also adds to the digital tone of a fake world that the whole project and scene is about. It's done in a smart way, and audiences saw that at the time, and they still see it today. And we cannot not mention how The Matrix's DVD release and home video helped the film preserve its longevity through enhanced visual quality and a great way of continuing to view the effects on display. They use less CGI, with some scenes only using it to remove wires, which results in audiences not being taken out of what they are watching. Again, this is all because throughout the action, there is a focus on the characters and their situation to a deeper degree, and it only helps to generate the digital world around them. This is where The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions don't hold up as much, because both have questionable scenes where the characters are fully CGI produced. But other technology and filmmaking elements also helped the original to become as groundbreaking and long-lasting, and this is very much because of the sound and feeling generated by the movie. For one, the entire film is covered in a green tint, making it as if the audience were watching The Matrix through an old PC monitor, and the film's direct use of detailed slow motion helped to emphasize on flying objects and extreme details of the world, fully immersing us in the action that unfolds. It's a feel that what we are watching is not real, but at the same time, it's so textured that it very well could be. In a way, that's what cinema should be doing. Transporting us to another world and making us believe in the story that's taking place. And along with sound, you have a transcending use of electronic music combined with conventional orchestra music. A film is only as effective at immersion as it is because of the sound that transports you there. And The Matrix sounds make you electrified, tense, in sync with the feeling of it, and everything else that a blockbuster should. The Wachowskis had brought a theatrical film to life like this at the right time. Technology had developed enough for them to sophisticatedly use it in the right way, blending the structure of the big budget film with the fast-paced use of action and CGI alongside the ideas that are important to all of us. They succeeded at bringing us a film that is the perfect representation of its time, but also one that has held up over 20 years later. They took advantage of the technology available to them, but used it in a seamless way. And it works so well with the highly intelligent, relatable, and predictive ideas through storytelling. It sprung a new age of modernized storytelling, giving us entertainment but an engrossing plot through the characters at the center of that. We relate to Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus because they all want to discover and fight for reality. It's just a shame that through this new age, we can't get more like it. But that was my video essay on how The Matrix changed cinema. From a budget of just $60 million, The Matrix received a worldwide total of $460 million in 1999, becoming the highest grossing movie of the year. It bolstered this success by going on to win 4 Oscars for editing, sound editing, mixing, and visual effects. With its huge success amongst critics and audiences, Warner Bros. Gave the Wachowskis 2 sequels in The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions. Of course, the sequels didn't reach the level of the original film, but I do think there are elements there that really pushed things forward. The concepts, ideas, and sequences, such as the highway scene in Reloaded, really have become classic and make the whole trilogy a successful endeavour of trying to constantly raise the bar from every direction, even if it doesn't all work. And the success of the trilogy was stapled with Reloaded making $750 million and Revolutions making another $430 million worldwide. But regardless of the reaction to the sequels, the original Matrix was a new direction that many blockbusters wanted to try and recreate, and it reset the landscape of blockbuster action for a film that is deeply philosophical, but also a highly enjoyable martial arts science fiction movie. Many failed to replicate this approach of merging the blockbuster with higher concept elements, apart from a few like with, say, Inception in 2010. But The Matrix is an extremely accessible movie on many levels that gave us a new take on a genre that needed a new sense of light, one that was a portrait of a changing world, frightened of what direction it was going in. Like I was saying in my video on The Matrix Resurrections the other day, I hope the new film is one that resonates and has new ideas for today that make it reflective and also meta in an important way. But taking this and sprinkling it on top of a hopefully solid story with groundbreaking action is what I hope is the priority. We'll have to see, and hopefully they'll pull it off, but I guess we'll always have the original Matrix to blow our minds all over again. But what are your thoughts on the original Matrix film, and are you excited for The Matrix Resurrections, which is due out in just a few days' time? Let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos on The Matrix 4 when it releases this December, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.